Hello? Jesus, that has been a nightmare. So my mic doesn't even work because the whole settings have been reset. It's just unbelievable, honestly. And now I don't have any audio to the game either, but you guys do. Can you hear the game and can you hear me? Jesus, that is one of the most difficult hours I think I've ever done in Formula 7 ever. Let me just mute that. Genuinely, I'm not lying. That is one of the most stressful and busiest hours I've ever had in the 6 years I've been doing Formula 7 racing. I don't know what happened. I need to jump into a party though, so that people don't have to listen to me. But I'm not sure what happened. But all the settings have been reset on the PlayStation account, on the F7 account. All the settings have been reset. Everything got reset. I had to change the password and log back in, and just yeah. So Kevin, 118.9. It's a bit knackered or whatever. Just let me know. Vicious Vicar and Praise 116.2 in that Ferrari. Too far ahead, actually, to be quite honest with you. Can you guys hear me? You guys hear me? There we go. Right. I've got no game audio at all, but you guys can hear the game audio, so we'll just have to rock with that. But yeah, I don't know what's going on here, to be honest. Right, I've got no audio. It's a tiny bit crackly. I literally don't know what to do, mate. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. The whole game's knackered. And as long as you guys can hear the audio, we'll just have to rock with that. But just bear with me. So it's all right. Honda Vita, I've got no audio, by the way, guys, so I do apologise, so I'll just go with it. I've got no audio at all. I don't even know what's going on, to be quite honest with you. Right, so Silent Assassin. Somebody just got a 5-place grid penalty. I do apologise, guys. That's probably, I'm going to reiterate it, probably the worst hour we've ever had, ever. Yeah, every single setting has been reset. So Oliver James with a 179 K Swiss in the Red Bull, just moving out of the way. Kevin Gamer, I think, yeah, he's on another lap. So the Racing Bull driver just coming down in towards turn 1. And he is absolutely flying now. Your mic's doubled. What? How? I don't hear double. I don't hear double. No, I don't hear double. So, the only problem is I've got no game audio at all. I can't do anything at this moment in time. So, Honda VTEC in the Mercedes is also on a lap. But, yeah, really sorry, guys. The whole Ben, I have no idea, mate. Every single setting's been reset. I have no idea. I've had to reset the password, reset the account, log back into everything. The mic settings are all reset. It's like I'm a brand new player. Everything's been reset. The mic, I can't. I've still not got any audio. You guys can hear me, but I've got no audio, and I'm streaming from the PlayStation now, not the PC. It just wouldn't let me go online at all. Wouldn't even let me invite anyone. All the restrictions were on. It's just been honestly the worst hour I've probably ever had in F7. So a giant stick in the Red Bull just coming out of the final chicane and down towards the line for the Oracle Red Bull driver here in Q1. 18 drivers on the grid. A giant stick with a 1:15.9. Wow. So 1:15.9 for him. What about Nimblecat as he comes through the final 2 corners and then down towards the line for the Alpine man, and it's P5 for him. That should be safely in to Q2 for him. What about Scott Lee in the Williams on his debut? Down in towards turn 1, then just hugging the apex of turn 2, just filtering on that battery on and off, and then out of turn 3 down towards turn 4 and 5. Still need to get the track map up and everything. I've just not done everything. So we are on board with Scott Lee, and he's just coming down in towards Aqua Minerale, down the hill towards turn 12 and 13. Sorry, track map. It's all funny. It's all funny. So, on board with Scott Lee, and he is on his way down to the Ravazza chicane at turn 18 and 19. Back onto the throttle. Lagging a little bit is the Williams driver, but he heads down the pitch straight towards the line. Scott Lee and the Williams will go 1:15.8, and he goes fastest with 7 minutes to go. He's very, very laggy here. Honda VTEC in the Mercedes, the only driver on the grid still yet to set a lap time. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do. I do apologise to everybody who's been waiting for the Tier 4 race to start. I do apologise. I know you've all been looking forward to it. It's supposed to start at 3 o'clock, and we have so many fans of Tier 4 as well who tune in to watch it, and so many fan favourites. I'm hoping that with Tier 1 a bit later that it'll get sorted, but I'm not sure we're going to have the time, so we'll see. Scott Lee, it's his debut. We don't actually know if he's a Tier 4 driver. By the looks of it, probably not. So just bear that in mind that he is racing against in the bottom tier here in F7. So if he is a bit too quick, I'll just take out the standings at the end of the race. But let's hope he has a good debut race. He looks quite close at the moment, but that is his first run. Honda VTEC in the Mercedes coming down at the straight towards turn 2 at Tamburello. This should be turn 1, but it's actually not. Through Tamburello at 2 and 3, in towards turn 4 is full qualifying Mr. Ritor, and Honda VTEC there in the Mercedes nearly losing the rears in towards turn 5 and 6 at the Villeneuve chicane, and then in towards Tulsa at turn 7. So then back onto the throttle, they'll just burn that battery on the way out, build up to speed. You've got Geordie in the McLaren on the mediums up into P4 at the moment. He raced in Tier 3 earlier today. He was on the slower side, so we're just trialling him in Tier 4. But we've got a lot of good Tier 4 drivers on the grid. Oh, and he's run wide, Honda VTEC, and that will cost him a decent time. And with 5 minutes to go here in Q1, it's looking very competitive. And who will go out? Card Elf, it's his debut as well in that McLaren. So a few Tier 4 drivers on the grid for the first time. And obviously, with it being the slowest league here in F7, it's quite hard to find drivers to match that pace. But you also get a huge gap in terms of times between the drivers on track. So the McLaren driver in towards Aqua Minerale and then down towards Varante Alta at turn 14 and 15. It's the quick right and left-hander. And that was very nice. Honda VTEC is out. And he's retired on track. Yeah, both Mercedes are on track. He's retired on track. So I'm not sure what's happened there with Honda VTEC. That's a real shame for the Mercedes driver. So he is out in Q1. Card Elf in the McLaren. He's going to come down towards the line. How quick is he going to go? It's going to be in the 17s, a 1:17.1. And it's P8 for him. Silent Assassin in the Aston Martin. Going through Aqua Minerale now. So the Aston Martin driver towards Varante Alta with just under 14 minutes remaining here in Imola for the Q1 session in Tier 4. I'm not going to lie, it's really hard to get into it without hearing any audio. Silent Assassin to the line, it's P16. Oh, he's just about to start his flying lap to Pappy. The Canadian driver, currently in P15. OGK Swiss, Silent Assassin, Oliver James in the Racing Bull, just getting out of the way. He sees the traffic coming. There's a little Aston Martin as well. He just needs to get out of the way for him. Then he's got a little bit more traffic. Is that a Red Bull? Yeah, it is. And he's just moving out of the way. Vicious Vicar and Mad Riot both on the way out. Synchronised exit out of the garage for the two Kick Sauber drivers. And then Kevin Gamer just getting out of the way. Real Aston Army in the Ferrari, doing better now that he's in the tier that he needs to be in. Wobbly Lizard in that Aston Martin is 4 100ths up at the moment. Is he backing out? So the Aston Martin driver, yes, he is just getting ready for another lap. He did back out, and that's his teammate that's just going through. And then Wobbly Lizard will try and sneak a little bit of slipstream from his teammate. Scott Lee is currently fastest here in Q1, and then Kevin Gamer in the Williams But let's have a look. Where is Tapapi, OGK Swiss? They're both down on the lap times. Silent Assassin will come through. So 1:17.3. It's P9 for the Aston Martin driver. You've got Tapapi and OGK Swiss starting there, flying lap. But Wobbly Lizard in the Aston Martin will be the first of the final runners. So in towards Tamburello through turn 3 and 4. And then down towards the Villeneuve chicane at turn 5 and 6. The left and right hander. And that is a giant stick that is retired in P3. He should be safely in to Q2 here in Imola. Kevin Gamer is out in P12. Will that be enough? He's crashed it. Kevin Gamer has crashed it coming out of Tamburello towards the Villeneuve chicane. So at the moment he is through, but he might have just lost it all. And that is Silent Assassin that is onto the grass. Mad Riot and Vicious Vicar. I thought you had, Kev. Sorry. Have you not? Oh, it might have been Oliver James. It was Oliver James. Sorry, Kev retired in the pit lanes. That is it. So, Tapapi will go again. OGK Swiss has invalidated it. Oliver James is the one on the lap. Vicious Vicar and Mad Riot going for another run. They are on the brink of elimination. Silent Assassin is going to try and improve. Wobbly Lizard in the Aston Martin running wide there at turn 17. He's half a second down. And he's not going to... he doesn't improve. He stays P7. I don't know on P1. This is tier 4, this, Francis. Good luck, that. But all the tiers are based on a certain pace. So you might actually not be a tier 4 driver. You might actually be a tier 3. So, Mad Right. Oliver James goes up to P13. He improves by 2.5 tenths. In towards turn 18 and 19 at Ravazza for the double Sauber drivers. They're following each other's footsteps. Like father, like son. Mad Riot goes up to P7 and Vicious Vicar, his father, will be next, goes P10. Kevin Gamer is on the brink of elimination. Oliver James also sits right on the cusp. Tapapi, the Canadian, coming around turn 18. He is finding some improvement. Is it going to be enough to get him through? Tapapi is out. Oliver James is also out. OGK Swiss coming through Tosa is slightly down on his lap time by 0.2 of a second. Oliver James and Tapapi, the two Racing Bulls, already eliminated. And Kevin Gamer, I think, is safe because it's only between him and OGK Swiss who's not finding the time for improvement here in Imola. And it looks like the Red Bull and the two sister cars will be out. A giant stick sits in P3 through the double Verante outer chicanes at 14 and 15. And then a nice little run up towards Ravazza, slightly downhill. How are we doing, Julius? I hope you're well. In towards 18. And he's got to get this right. He's got to use that battery. And Jordy goes on 1:15.5 in the papaya. And he's found himself to the top of the leaderboard. And OGK Swiss is also out. So that means Kevin Gamer is through once again. It's becoming a very common occurrence. Brilliant stuff from Kevin Gamer and Real Ashton Army. Silent Assassin on his debut is P11. Mad Riot, who got a podium last week, is into P7. You've got the debutantes of Scott Lee in P2 and Geordie, who raced in Tier 3 earlier today, in P1. We are just trying to find the pace of some of these drivers. But a good Q1 session that was. So I just need to put all these names into the system, so just bear with me. So it is Jord that goes fastest. I need to put that in. Yeah, the Williams of Scott, because all these are new names. Bear with me. Priz in P3, a giant stick, Jennifer, Nimble Cat, Mad Right. I don't know why Mad Right doesn't show up. Wobbly Lizard, and then the McLaren of Card Elf. And then Vicious Vicar, and then the Aston Martin of Silent Assassin. Bear with me, sorry guys, because these aren't in the system yet. And then everybody else is fine. There we go. So it was the bottom 5. It was Honda VTEC in 18th, K-Swiss in 17th, and Tapapi in 16th. Oliver James in P15, so he made it through. Oh, so the two Racing Bulls didn't go out, according to the system here. Am I missing a driver? No, that's right. Guys, where do I type in the server to get on track? Just in the trial paddock, mate, and somebody should help you out. Yeah, 15.5 is not bad at all, to be honest. Considering the pole position times today, what was pole into two? I know it was like low 114s, and tier three was high 114. So yeah, that's about right. Yeah. So, a couple of the drivers on their way back out of the pit lane. Whilst they're doing that, guys, I'm just going to mess around with my headset, see if I can get the game volume on. Okay. Okay, so I've got audio back to my controller. Let me just double check that I'm still coming through. Right, that's better. Thanks, Dave. At least I can get engrossed into the racing when I can hear the engines and all that, and it gets me going, you know. So, on board with Mad Riot in the Sauber as we head in towards the Villeneuve chicane at turn 5 and 6. Beautiful through there from last week's podium set and the constructors leaders. Like, might sound a bit muffled. I know, I don't know what's going on, mate. Is that a little bit better? Yeah, Adam, what a nightmare that was, honestly. I feel for the Tier 4 drivers as well, who've had to, you know, wait an hour. You know what? It's annoying as well because it's a brand new mic. You know, when I did PSGL PC comms on Thursday, I went down and bought a new mic. I thought, why not? I've been due one, I'll go and buy one. So I went and bought a 1:59. It's a brilliant lap time from Mad Riot. A Turtle Beach one, a wireless one, but I weren't going to get a wireless one because it always seems to not be as good as a wired one. But it was 80 quid, right? So I've got it, and I'm using it on an aux cable because it seems to be really muffled on wireless. So I think I've made a mistake. So I might take it back and exchange it for a wired, like a proper wired commentary one. So Mad Riot and Vicious Vicar. So Dave, I'm streaming from the PlayStation, so it's just plugged into my controller because I had all the issues with the account. Yeah, Adam, send me some. I really appreciate it, mate. But it's a bloody nightmare. So I'm gonna probably go down, take it back, because especially when I start getting a bit loud and the race is going on, you know, and that's what I'm worried about, the crackling and stuff. But yeah, that was so stressful. But I feel for the Tier 4 drivers, you've had to wait an extra hour as well. So, a giant stick, there we go. Card Elf in the McLaren, down in towards Varanti Outer, turn 14 and 15, just hugging the apex to the left-hand side. UAC Jory in the McLaren also on a lap, but it will be Cardi Elf who will come through to the line first. You've got a Ferrari just in front of him. That's Priz. No, sorry, it's a real Aston Army. Out of turn 19 we go, down past the pit lane. And it's a 1:16.7 for Cardi Elf. What about Jordy, his teammate? I am looking at the old track map of Imola. Oh, it was completely sent me west. The whole bloody thing. Yeah, I'm looking at the wrong one. I didn't think there was 18 corners in Imola. Because I always remember going 14, 15. So yeah, I was looking at the wrong track map. Jennifer Lee, the man from Hong Kong. Oh, there's McLaren just off the track, getting out of his way. Down in towards Aqua Minerale through turn 10. And then slightly uphill down the straight towards Verante Alta at turn 11 and 12. So through the right and left hander, Jennifer Lee. And invalidated his first one, did Jordi. So you've got a Ferrari just in front of him, but it's the Ferrari-powered Haas that goes in towards Ravazza at turn 14 and 15. There's a Mercedes off the track in Tamburello. But here we go, Jennifer Lee is looking on fire as he goes up to P2 at 1:59 from the man from Asia. Made it back on time, did Kev. Beautiful stuff. Real Aston Army goes purple, sector 1. Priz in P4, Scott Lee in P5, Shining Swarm in the Mercedes, currently on a lap as well. You've got Wobbly Lizard just behind him, so we'll stay on board with Shining Swarm in the Mercedes as he comes down in towards Aqua Minerale at turn 9 and 10. This is a very tricky part of the circuit to get right. You've got to navigate through there. You're going downhill, then back up the hill. You've got to hold on to the rear tyres. Make sure that you don't lose the back end. Oh, and he's Shining Swarm's had to back out there, so it will be Wobbly Lizard coming through. He's gone purple sector 2. Slightly downhill now towards Ravazza at turn 14. What can the Aston Martin driver do? Through the double left-handers, hugging the apex there. Beautiful exit for Wobbly Lizard, and here comes the Aston Martin down towards the line. It's a 1:16.3 and it's P6 for him. This is super competitive here in Imola. Nimble Cat with his nimble reflexes down in towards Aqua Minerale as well. Onto the throttle, beautiful, gets out the exit just how he wants it. Down in towards Verante Alta at turn 11 and 12. Through the right, through the left, slides through there as he drifts. Nimble Cat back onto the throttle, burning the battery on the way out, and then just lets off. He'll use the rest of it up towards the finish line, through the double Ravazza at the left-handers, back onto the throttle. He'll empty that battery tank all the way to the finish line, and Nimble Cat goes P11. It's a 1:16.9, but it's a slower time than what he set in Q1, so he'll be looking to improve and get through. Priz calls it a day. Priz is probably a tier 2 driver, so he'll be very comfortable here. Tier 3 driver, so he'll be very comfortable here. Kevin Gamer, who's had an exceptional start. In fact, probably his best start to a season he's ever had as he grows and matures and gets older and better. And he's doing a splendid job in here in season 12. So Kevin Gamer in the Williams, we will ride on board with the driver. In fact, Real Aston Army, he's not on a lap. Wobbly Lizard into the pit lane. Yes, it will be Kevin Gamer as we ride on board with him as he comes through Tamburello at turn 4. Back onto the throttle, burning that battery in towards the Villeneuve chicane at turn 5, the left, into the right, just using the outside curb to just flow through there, and in towards the hairpin at turn 7 into Tosa. Up towards Piratella at turn 8, we go up the hill and then it comes right back down. It's a beautiful circuit here in Imola, and what's the word for it? Oh, he's off the track, is Kevin Gamer, but he's still on. He's still on for a lap time with just under 6 minutes to go. The elevation is what I was looking for. The elevation here in Imola is outstanding, but it does take some skill, and I'm sure we'll see a beautiful race progress through the 32 laps in towards Ravazza. A little bit short there for Kevin Gamer, and he didn't need to brake there. He's a little bit cautious here, Kevin. He's already made a couple of mistakes, but he's got to get a banker on the board, and it's P12 for the Williams driver. Scott Lee in the Williams, his teammate on his debut. And Francis invalidated a pole lap. So Scott Lee invalidated, he's struggling, he's lagging a lot though. Like a real lot. UAC Geordie in the McLaren is now trying to improve his 3/10 up on the mediums. He's looking around the 16.3 at the moment on the medium compound tyres. So what can the Papaya achieve here in Q2 at the 4.5 minute mark? He's half a second up now, and that was a really nice line through there. That was esports line through there for Geordie. Down in towards the double Ravazzas at turn 14 and 15. And that beautiful chrome glistening under the sunshine here in Italy. And it's P2 for Geordie. A 1:15.8 on the mediums is a bit quick for him. Wow. Shining Swarm is onto the gravel. Silent Assassin is also on an outlap. A lot of drivers waiting now. And Kevin Gamer is into the pit lane. Nimblecat is also in. Real Aston Army is on his way out, the Ferrari man. Remember, here in Formula 7 racing, points go down to 15th position. And if you are looking for the perfect setup for your races, check out Sim Racing Setups. The link is down below. And you can use code F7R on the checkout to get a 5% discount. Also, you'll find links to Fanatec, our title sponsor, and you can go and check them out as well. Use code F7R on checkout. So, in towards Tamburello, and then back out of turn 4. That's a really nice line. Oh, he was a bit heavy on the brakes there, but I think Ashton will know that he was a little heavy on the brake pedal. And the Scuderia in that scarlet red, coming through Piratella and down towards Aqua Minerale. The giant stick was rapid through sector 1. It's actually Scott Lee who's the quickest driver through sector 1 so far by nearly a 1/10.5. That is a huge gap, especially considering he set his lap time on mediums and he's a 1/10.5 quicker through sector 1 than anybody else. In towards Ravazza at turn 14 and 15. There's a driver just there moving out of the way. Can Real Aston Army improve? He cannot, and he's into the pit lane. Nimblecat is on his way out of the pit lane. Shining Swarm and Silent Assassin. Silent Assassin is 6/10 up as he comes down the hill towards Ravazza. The Aston Martin driver on his debut, and he keeps it valid just about inside the white lines. And again, he's flashing, he's emptying the tank, and he's not used as much battery as I thought he would do. It's a 1:17.6. He's going to have to go again. Shining Swarm, the driver from Macau, in through Piratella, down towards Aqua Minerale for the Mercedes AMG Petronas driver, and he's invalidated it. And onto the gravel, onto the grass. And Shining Swarm is not shining today. And that might be a Q2 exit for him. The Aston Martin driver is going to have to try and get another lap on the board. And that is it. Silent Assassin is out, but he's retired on the track right at the end of Q2. That's not good, mate. If you're in the chat, Silent Assassin, we don't do that, mate. It's completely against the rules. I'm hoping this driver behind you isn't caught up in that now. No, luckily the driver's moved off the track and Oliver James has invalidated it. So Shining Swarm is out, Silent Assassin is out in Q2. Kevin Gamer might still have a chance. Nimblecat is just about to start his flying run. Cardi Elf is 3/10 up, down in towards the double Ravazza. Real Aston Army is out, but he is on the brink. So he's going to watch from the pit lane. Here comes Cardi Elf to the line. It's P8. He improves and goes just in front of Vicious Vicar. He's not going to come out of the pit lane. Vicious Vicar is not going to come out, but does he need to? Nimblecat does. He's in P11. He needs to find about a 1/10 of a second. He doesn't even need that, but he's found it. In the first sector, he's 2/10 up here. Nimblecat in the Alpine. Up towards Piratella. Here we go. through the left-hander, keeps it valid, back down the hill towards Aqua Minerale for Nimblecat. It's all or nothing to get into Q3. The checkered flag has waved in Imola. Through the right and left, that was probably the trickiest part of the circuit. And it looks like it's a pretty neat lap from Nimblecat. He's throwing it all together. He's making it stick. Into turn 15 we go. And then it's a short run up towards the line. Down towards the checkered flag. And Nimblecat surely gets up to P8. It's Vicious Vicar. But Kevin Gamer has missed the checkered flag. And he does make it through. Wobbly Lizard doesn't improve. But it's a giant stick that goes fastest in Q2. And some big names into the final part of qualifying. That was a great qualifying session, and how competitive. From P5 down to P10 are all in the 116s, and talk from first a 15.7 all the way down to 11th for 16.8, and that is quite a tight gap, considering it's the bottom tier, if you see what I mean, because you can have a really slow driver and then a quick tier 4 driver. There's quite a big array of times between the drivers, but yeah, beautiful, really competitive here today. So a giant stick is fastest. Geordie, I'm a little bit worried about your pace, considering that was on mediums, and Scott Lee as well, but yeah, really good from the drivers. The giant stick is fastest in Q2, and then Geordie in the McLaren in P3. Sorry, 1 minute. I need to put these in the system, so just bear with me. I do like going through it, though. The Sauber in P4 is Mad Riot. Then Priz, Scott Lee, Wobble Lizard, Nimble. Who's in P9? That is Card Elf. And then you've got Vicious Vicar, Real Last Now, Miss Silent Assassin, Kevin Gamer, Oliver Games, and it's Shining Swan. Yep, got it all in the system. It's for the stats after the race and all the standings. But it's I still have to manually change a lot of the names on the system, and then I'll have a look at the mobile one later. Oh, plus I've got to be up for 4:30 tomorrow. Back in work. It's been nice having some time off. I'm just going to grab a quick drink, guys, whilst just before qualifying gets underway. So we're on board with some of these drivers here in Q3 as we get down to the business end of qualifying. And that is a Ferrari that will come through to the line. It's praised. It's a 1:15.4 from the Scuderia. Then we have Card Elf in the McLaren that will be next as he comes out of turn 15 down to the checkered flag. And Card Elf goes P2, a 1:16.9 for him. His teammate starts the lap. Then we've got a couple. A Red Bull of a Giant Stick who's gone fastest in Q1, a fastest in Q2, and now quickest in Q3. A Giant Stick goes provisional pole. Yellow flags are waving. There goes Vicious Vicar, a 1:16.5 for the Sauber driver. Jennifer Lee, a 1:16.1. Here comes Maggi, and it's a 1:18.0. So he will, yeah, that wasn't a quick lap. And he didn't use any battery, so he is going to go for a flyer lap now. Here comes Wobbly Lizard, and he's not very wobbly around there as he comes out of the final chicane down towards the line. And where is the Aston Martin driver going to put it? He puts it in P3, a 1:15.9, so it is starting to heat up a little bit. Jordi has invalidated it, and he's got his teammate right in front of him. That is Card Elf, that is literally stayed in front of him the whole lap. I don't know if that is beneficial at all, really. Oh, and they both go straight across the grass. Yeah, I think the drivers need to read the rules. So Scott Lee in the Williams. Scott Lee is really, really laggy. Like, maybe some of the worst I've seen. And I've seen a lot of laggy drivers. Yeah, we need to be careful here. I'm sure he's from the UK though, so I'm surprised it's that bad. Because I'm the lobby host and I'm on like 900 uploads, so yeah, the lobby should be good. Yeah. So Jordi in the McLaren is on another run. He's from Italy. Ah, right. I thought he was from the UK. That might explain it then. Mamma mia! Here we go. His home Grand Prix here for Scott Lee. Well, we are on board with Jordi. So the McLaren man with 6.5 minutes to go goes purple sector 2. He's looking very quick indeed. I'm not sure where he finished in tier 2 for qualifying, sorry, tier 3. Down in towards Ravazza. That's a nice line. Yeah, he looks quick, doesn't he, Jordi? He looks quick. Out of turn 15, down to the line. It's going to be in the 15s. A 1:15.347, and look how close that is for pole position. Scott Lee is going again in the Williams. In towards Tosa, and then back out up the hill. It's looking a bit better actually now for the Williams. Connection's looking a lot better. So down the hill towards Acqua Minerale. I can't tell if it's a good lap or not because I don't know if it's, lagging or whatnot. It looks good. It looks good. Through turn 11 and 12. And then we go back down the hill into Ravazza at turn 14 and 15. This is going to be a good lap from Scott Lee. Down towards the checkered flag, and it's a 1:16.0, and it's not going to be quickest just yet. So all of the drivers have a banker lap on the board. And just be mindful if you are watching this. We actually, with it being tier 4, we actually don't know the pace of a lot of these drivers. The pace shouldn't be anywhere near tier 3 pole time. So, and then obviously, I mean, in fact, I'll have a look. If I had the PC, I'd bring it up on the screen, but obviously I've had to stream from the PlayStation. So, let's have a look at tier 3. So, pole time, 1:14.7 in tier 3. And the slowest time in Oh, Jesus. Wow, okay. The guy's super skills was P10 and he was a 16.3. Yeah, wow, this is a bit of a mixed up one, isn't it? I mean, NMX James started P6 and he was a 15.5. A giant stick, with that time that he's got there, would have qualified P5 in Tier 3. But this is a really good... yes, Dave, absolutely. But I think some of these guys will have quicker tracks and some will have slower ones. Mad Riot in the Sauber is now on a lap and he is finding some improvement. Yeah, I know. Some people can't race the times. Yeah, Barcelona next. We've got a week break and then on to Spain. So down in towards the Ratzer, 2.5 minutes to go, and Mad Riot using all of his battery in towards the double left-hander. Back onto the throttle. And Mad Riot is going to put it at 1:15.4. Wow, what a lap time from Mad Riot. And that was a fantastic lap. Priz in the Ferrari is just about to get going. Here we go. With all of his might in his battery, can the Ferrari dominate here in Italy? Just a little walk from the headquarters of the Ferrari team. And then you've got Jennifer Lee, but let's ride on board. Oh, Priz is off the track. He's going to have to go round again as he has to get out of the way. So the McLaren will be next. It is Card Elf. He's got a 1:16.9 at the moment and he's going to go for his final run. Oh, he's invalidated it. Card Elf has invalidated it. Mad Riot has retired. So it is on to the other drivers. We've got a Ferrari, that is Priz. Will he get to go again? He did invalidate. He is going to go again, but he's going to be on a little bit older tyres this time, so it won't be great. The McLaren of Geordie on an outlap. Then you've got the Alpine of Nimble getting ready to go. Who is the final runners? You've got Scott Lee on an outlap. His connection is looking quite a bit better, actually, than it was previously. The other McLaren of Card Elf, who invalidated it. Will he get to the line in time with 20 seconds to go? He is, but he's not going to have as much battery as he would have hoped for. The Haas of Jennifer Lee will be the first of the final runners. Down in towards Ravata. For the man from Hong Kong, through turn 15, back onto the throttle, to the checkered flag we go. Jennifer Lee will set a 1:15.4. This is getting spicy. The Aston Martin driver of Wobbly Lizard will be next. It's a 1:15.9 for the Aston Martin driver. The Ferrari of Priz has invalidated it again, and he would definitely be fighting way up there if he didn't invalidate it. What about the McLaren of Geordie? He's 6/1000ths down on his lap time in towards turn 14 and 15. The checkered flag has now waved here in Imola. Back onto the throttle, burning the battery all the way to the line, and Geordie, a 1:15.335. He's 10/1000ths behind a giant stick. Nimble has invalidated it, no, and so has Scott Lee, so we're not going to get a very good representation of pace here. Card Elf has also invalidated it, So that is it. A Giant Stick takes pole position here in Imola. Johnny on the front row in P2, but Mad Riot on the second row in P3. There's some very quick times from Tier 4, by the way. Mad Riot with that time would put him P5 in Tier 3. Really good lap time, that. The top 4 would all be in the top 5 in Tier 3. Really good lap times. And Leo, Scott Lee was saying he could go 5 tenths quicker. So he should have been right there. So it's a Giant Stick that takes pole position. The American driver here in Imola takes pole. It's the McLaren of Geordie that will start alongside him on the front row of the grid in P2. Then you've got Mad Riot in P3 in the Sauber starting on the second row of the grid, and alongside him is Jennifer Lee. On the third row of the grid it's Priz and Wobbly Lizard. On the fourth row of the grid it's Scott Lee in P7 and Vicious Vicar in P8. And on the fifth row of the grid it's Nimblecat in the Alpine in P9 and Card Elf in the McLaren, completing your top 10 for the Imola Grand Prix here in round 4. Yeah, defo Dave, definitely. I've got to go straight from Tier 4 straight to Tier 1 after this race now. Usually, the only break I usually get between the day is like a little bit of a break in Tier 2, even though I'm in the lobby and I'm doing league stuff, because I race in Tier 3. Everything that I'm supposed to be doing in Tier 3 I've got to do after the race, because I'm obviously racing, and then that's when I do it during Tier 2, and then I go straight onto Tier 4, and then obviously I take like an hour break where I get everything sorted and then go into Tier 1. So I've got to be up for 4:30. I don't start till 6, Dave. But I've got to obviously, get in, and I usually get in a little bit early, get my van sorted, and sometimes I'm not even on the road though. But I work for John Lewis as a lead partner, so sometimes I'm on the road, sometimes I'm out assessing drivers or whatever, or in interviews or whatever I might be doing. So yeah, a lot of variety, really good. I love it. So formation lap, 18 drivers on the grid here in Tier 4. I am, Asbill, I am. Oh, who's that that's gone off? A Giant Stick, the pole sitter is off. He's already spun it. It's a bloody good job. It's the formation lap. And the American driver shuffling around. Oh, and he has his DSQ. He's back on the grid, and he's going to start with cold tyres and grass all over him. So, the man from the US of A, like he was ice skating there. Well, we won't mention ice here in front of the Americans. Hey, we'll keep it all league related. So, Giant Stick was down pole, Jordy in P2, Mad Riot in P3, then we got Jennifer Lee in P4. Yeah, Asbill, I'm on the PlayStation, yeah. I had massive issues before the race started. Wobbly Lizard, P6, Scott Lee in P7, Vicious Vicar in P8, Nimblecat in P9, Card Elf in P10, then you got Real Asinami in P11, Silent Assassin in P12, Kevin Gamer in P13, and then Oliver James in P14, Shining Swarm in P15, Tapapi in P16, OGK Swiss in P17, and Honda VTEC in that Mercedes in P18. Yeah, cheers for that. Cheers for that, Giant Stick. Appreciate that. That was a giant slip from a Giant Stick. Here we go. They all line up for round 4 here in Imola, what should be an exceptional race. We've seen two brilliant races already today, and we're about to make it a hat-trick here in round 4, powered by Sim Racing Setups. And it's lights out, and away we go. A Giant Stick gets a good start, but so does Geordie in the McLaren. Remember, a Giant Stick on them cold tyres. Oh my God, Geordie is right inside that Red Bull driver, and he's underneath him, and he's gone through him. What the hell is this? And then you've got Priz in the Ferrari ghosting through the Sauber. This is not good. Scott Lee and Jennifer Lee are going at it. The Williams and the Alpine of Nimble is already up 2 places. He goes upside the inside of the Williams, who leaves him the space, nearly losing the rears. Then you've got the 2 Aston Martin drivers, Cardell, Kevin Gamer, Real Aston Army. Nimble Cat is through on the Williams, and he's into P6. We've got a yellow flag. That is Silent Assassin in the Aston Martin that's lost it, coming through Tosa. And here comes Jenny in the Haas in P5. Nimble Cat up 3 places. A brilliant start to this Grand Prix. But it's Geordie that leads by 7/10 of a second. It's starting to calm down a little bit now. Here comes Scott Lee on Nimble Cat. Oh my God. And he's lost the front wing. I think, yeah, he's got a missing end plate. He is lagging like crazy. Scott, you are really, really lagging like a lot, really badly. So Scott Lee has damage. Oh, he's off the track. No, he's not off the track. I have no idea what's going on. Card Elf is through. Kevin Gamer, his teammate, is also through. Scott Lee is going to peel off into the pit lane. And that is a Giant Stick that takes the lead in the Grand Prix. He's got the straight line speed. The McLaren goes later on the brakes and he's off. Geordie is into the gravel. He's going to come back on, hopefully safely. Oh, and he's lost the rears. Oh! Mad Riot has damage in the Sauber. He's gone into the back of Geordie, who made a really bad re-entrance onto the track. Really unsafe, that. And that is, oh, Mad Riot nearly taking out his teammate and his dad. Silent Assassin is out. And he's retired on track again. So Oliver James, Mad Riot is off now, and he's tumbling down the order. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know, Asbill. I feel bad. I don't even. Yeah. So Geordie taking out a Sauber, who was having a great race with a ridiculous re-entry onto the track. So a Giant Stick does lead. Yeah, hopefully he can come back. There's 30 laps remaining. You never know what's going to happen. And Geordie is going to stay out. He's got Nimble behind him. Shining Swarm and the Real Aston Army going wheel to wheel through Ravazza, the Ferrari on the Mercedes. And the 2 Mercedes nearly collide. That's Honda, VTEC and Shining Swarm. And now here comes OGK Swiss. That is Vicious Vicar through on Kevin Gamer. He's up to P8. Remember, the Saubers lead the constructors. So Nimble will still want to finish this Grand Prix. So Pappy is through on Oliver James. The Racing Bulls go racing here in Imola. And that was Honda VTEC into the gravel and around. And the Mercedes are round. This is getting a bit out of hand here. There goes to Pappy, and he's off, the Racing Bull driver. And it's getting a little bit spicy on the track now. So Mad Riot is into the pit lane, getting that new front wing after no fault of his own. Geordie re-entering the track. Jennifer Lee in the Haas through turn 12 and 13. So Giant Stick leads by 2 seconds to Priz in the Ferrari. And I'm just going to have a look. There's no damage to anybody else, I don't think. Yeah, the Wobbly Lizard is a front wing damage as well. So Jennifer Lee will have that DRS. Down the straight we go. Is he going to catch him before we go in towards Tamburello at turn 2? No, he's not. He's going to have to back out. Here comes Card Elf on Nimble Cat. Is he going to go for that huge lunge down the inside? Nimble Cat is there. The McLaren, the Alpine. And Nimble just stays in front of Card Elf. And that is Real Aston Army on Shining Swarm. They go battling through Tamburello. Look at OGK Swiss. He wants a piece of the action. Back on board with Wobbly Lizard and Card Elf, who chase down Nimble Cat. Shining Swarm, Unreal Aston Army. Yeah, great defence there from Nimblecat. Oliver James is into the pit lane. Scott Lee is through and up to P15. Yeah, Scott Lee with a time penalty. Mad right now back up to P16, only one place away from the points. But not where he would have wanted to be. Jennifer Lee, half a second behind Priz. So Jennifer Lee with that DRS, surely he's going to move up to P2 on the back of that Ferrari. Yeah, with the rear wing open, he's going to go around the outside, and the Ferrari driver is not going to make this easy for him. He's going to go later on the brakes, goes the Ferrari, they do touch, he's nearly off, and they go side by side battling, and the Ferrari getting his elbows out. Here comes Cardell through on Nimblecat, the Alpine driver demoted to P6, as Wobbly Lizard in the Aston Martin. Shining Swarm is through on Real Aston Armies. They go wheel to wheel down in towards Tamburello. The Ferrari backs out and OGK Swiss is through. Does the Ferrari have damage? He doesn't. He just backed out. Scott Lee back into the pit lane. Jennifer Lee still chasing down Prince. Scott Lee is out of the race on his debut. That is it for him. Shining Swarm on the back of Kevin Gamer in towards Piratella. And the Williams driver going a little bit wide there. Shining Swarm seen an opening for a brief second, but he wasn't in a position to take it. And that is Kevin Gamer onto the curb there. Took a big chunk of it. And a little bit deep. K-Swiss now starting to find a rhythm. Maggi back into the points. That is a yellow flag. And that is a driver that's come out of the pit lane. Oh my God, he's right on the racing line. He's right on the racing line. Nimblecat is through on Cardell. Yeah, he's gone, he's gone, he's gone. Jesus. Shining Swarm through on Kevin Gamer with that DRS enabled. And Kevin Gamer's going to get swallowed up by K-Swiss. Into Tamburello, the Mercedes has gone off onto the gravel, and he comes on just in front of K-Swiss, who's managing to navigate round. Wobbly Lizard with a huge lunge up the inside of Vicious Vicar, and the Sauber driver knew exactly what he was going to do. Ah, no problem, mate. Yeah, you can nearly cause a huge crash. Here comes Kevin Gamer. What a view that is. The helicopter camp. Coming out with the W's here in Imola. So, Jennifer Lee chasing down that Ferrari towards Ravazza. Yeah, in it there. Great view. You're back onto the throttle. Giant stick 3 seconds clear now, and that Ferrari just taking the bollard with him, and that means Jennifer Lee might have a second crack at this. There goes Cardell into the pit lane after 7 laps. He's going for a huge undercut. Honda VTEC picks up a 3-second time penalty. Nimblecat's now got a little bit of breathing space with Cardell into the pit lane. And Oliver James picking up a time penalty. He picked up, I think, 27 last week. A little less this week. Jennifer Lee 4 tenths behind. Shining Swarm on at Kevin Gamer. He's going to switch it back up the inside. Oh, and he sends him gliding into the gravel. A beautiful move from Shining Swarm that swarmed all over that Williams. Oliver James 10 seconds of speeding into the pit lane and out. And his bad run of form for Oliver continues. Real shame for him. Because he's got the minerals to be a good driver, Oliver. We've seen it in the past. We've seen him where he was right at the top of his game. So, Real Aston Army, Kevin Gamer. That means everybody will move up a position. 7 laps down. A thrilling race, though. A thrilling race. A lot of drivers from all over the world, though, which has caused a few issues in terms of connection. So bear with me, guys. So, Jennifer Lee still chasing down. There goes Kevin Gamer into the pit lane. No, I don't think so, Asbill. I'm going to try, though. It's 5 o'clock now. You've got 24 laps left. Then I've got to send invites. I might have 10 minutes to try and sort it, but we'll see. I'll leave this to the PlayStation on anyway, and if I can't do it, then I'll just go straight into the PlayStation. But I would like to use the PC. But, yeah, a few problems really. I'm hoping I can get it sorted. Oh, the Williams of Kevin Gamer. What about Jennifer Lee? This is going to be the third crack of the whip for Jennifer Lee, and this looks closer than he's been all evening. And through on the Ferrari goes the Haas. That's Geordie into the pit lane for the undercut and onto the hard compound tyres. Vicious Vicar is now starting to catch up to Nimble Cat at a rapid rate of knots. So this is starting to get interesting. So let's stay on board with Nimble and Vicious Vicar and see which one of the goats come out on top today. So Nimble Cat just in front by 0.3 of a second. Nimble and Vicious Vicar, P4 and P5 as we go down in towards Aqua Minerale. We're right on board with the Sauber driver. Geordie is through. Tapapi is off the track, the Racing Bull driver. Yellow flags are waving. That is Kevin Gamer through and Shining Swan. What an overtake that was. Beautiful from Kevin Gamer. Priz is starting to lose track of Jennifer Lee in front. Vicious Vicar only 3 turns behind Nimble. But looking at the tyres, their medium's already 45%. Is he going to try and get any more out of it? Is he going to try and go for the 1-stop or the 2-stop? Here comes Geordie on Real Aston Army. The McLaren from the Scuderia. There goes Priz on Jennifer Lee. Priz is running some serious downforce. Here comes Vicious Vicar into the slipstream of Nimble Cat. The Sauber will go the long way round and the green machine is through on the pink and blue of Nimble Cat. So Shining Swarm trying to stay with Kevin Gamer. Oh, and he takes a huge chunk there. And riding a lot of that curb. So Wobbly Lizard, that is Tapapi into the pit lane. Tapapi in the points. I'd love to see it. So Jennifer Lee now back behind the German of Priz. So many different nationalities on the grid. America to Germany to Hong Kong to Britain. So Nimble Cat now 1.3 behind Vicious Vicar. The track is really spread out here. I think some of the drivers will be hoping for a safety car soon. Honda VTEC picking up a time penalty. And that is Geordie that is through on K-Swiss. Prison Jennifer Lee into the pit lane. Geordie is through. Remember, Geordie is on the undercut. And he is taking some huge chunks out of that time. So Jennifer, and that is Nimble and Vicious Vicar that stay out. So does the Giant Stick, who's 13.5 seconds clear. So where does Geordie come out in comparison to Jennifer and Priz? He sets the fastest lap of the race and he is going to come out in front of the Ferrari and the Haas. And so does K-Swiss. Wobbly Lizard, Real Aston Army is into the pit lane on another set of mediums. So he's doubling the mediums and then onto the hards near the end of the race. So he's committing to that 2-stopper. Here comes Priz on Jennifer. And OGK Swiss might actually hold up Jennifer and Priz, and this will not be good for them in comparison to Giant Stick. So OGK Swiss has no obligation to get out of the way here. Here comes Jennifer Lee back onto the throttle. What about Priz as well? And he does move out of the way. OGK Swiss, a bit of respect there from him. Says, I don't want a piece of that. I'm getting out of the way. I'm racing my own race. Mad Right picking up a 3-second time penalty. So Jennifer Lee and Geordie are through. Jennifer Lee and Priz are through. And they are now chasing down Geordie, who went for the Anyone wondering, Arsenal and United are 1-1 and Burmo's just scored. Well, watch that on the side. This is the main one. Forget one of the biggest rivalries in Premier League history. It's all about this rivalry right now. Priz on Jennifer, here he comes. Card Elf is through on K-Swiss, but it's Priz, the man from Germany, that moves on through in the Scarlet Ferrari, and the Haas of Jennifer Lee will have to settle back in for P6. But they are now starting to track down Jordi, who's 9 seconds behind Nimble and Vicious Vicar, who continue to stay out. They are committing to the one stopper. Vicious Vicar, though, his tyres, their medium tyres, are 10% less worn than Nimble Cat's. Is that because Nimble has had to battle a few times, or is it genuinely just because his tyres, his setup is a little bit better? But Nimble Cat is losing tremendous amounts of time to Vicious Vicar. That is Real Aston Army that is through an OGK Swiss. So a lot of drivers committing to the one stopper, some are committing to the twos, and we can see it starting to open up already after 13 laps of racing. I really wanted to do interviews today as well, but we've definitely not got time to do it, which is really annoying, because I've not interviewed anybody in Tier 4 yet, and I really wanted to do interviews. Oh, and just running wide there, Giant Stick might have got a little track limit. That is Priz, 1:17.8 as the fastest lap. That's a brilliant lap time. Jennifer Lee is chasing him. And looking at the times in Tier 3, the fastest lap of that race was a 1:17.2, so not far off it is Priz. And that was Priz. Priz got the fastest lap. Oh no, sorry, it was NDMV. NDMV always goes for the fastest lap. Real Aston Army is free. Mad Right is back into the pit lane for the second time after being taken out by a driver after an unsafe re-entry onto the track. And Nimble is losing a lot of time here. He's going to have to go into the pit lane shortly. Otherwise, he's going to lose the gap that he needs. What's the leader's last lap? I'm not sure. Oh. I'll go check that. That is Jordan. Nimble Cat is into the pit lane. So he has gone in, and Vicious Vicar has stayed out. His tyres are a little bit fresher, and he's still got that 10-second gap to Jordy, who's committing to the two-stopper. Vicious Vicar's one stop is looking quite good at the moment. So Nimble is going to come out onto these fresh, hard tyres, and he's going to come out. I tell you what, if he's got a race engineer, he's done a cracking job here, because Nimble Cat is going to come out into a lot of clean air. A lot of clean air. Look, you'll see the Mercedes in the background just coming around the bend. There he is. But Nimble Cat is going to come out in like 12 seconds of clear air in front of him to race into on fresh hard. Great strategy from the Alpine man. And Jennifer Lee still on the back of Priz. That is Mad Riot on to Pappy, the Sauber driver, up to P13, trying to make the most of this race. He was in a podium position, he qualified in P3, and Jordy in the McLaren come back on track, and Mad Riot went into the back of him, costing him a pit stop. That is Giant Stick and Vicious Vicar is into the pit lane. The Red Bull and the Sauber are in. Jordy, who went for the undercut, is now your race leader. But here comes Priz and the Ferrari driver. Oh, they collide. The McLaren and the Ferrari do touch. But it is Priz that is now the race leader. Jordy picks up a 3-second time penalty. And now Jennifer Lee is going to get involved. Jordy is going to chase back on that Ferrari. He's going to look for a way through. Where does Vicious Vicar come out? He comes out in a beautiful spot with a lot of clean air. Jordy is all over that Ferrari, lunging up the inside, goes to Papaya, gets a bad exit. Here comes Jennifer Lee, but it's Priz that starts to move away. Jordy's got some serious straight line speed as we go into Piratella and then down towards Aqua Minerale. It's the Scuderia that holds on So Babby picks up a penalty. Geordie is all over him. He cuts the corner again. Jennifer Lee is just losing distance. Here comes Geordie. You do not want to go side by side into this. Later on the brakes goes the McLaren. Pushes the Ferrari onto the gravel. Has to back out. And Priz getting his elbows out once again here in Imola. This is a spicy little battle. Jennifer Lee 1.2 behind. Geordie is going to get that DRS. That rear wing is going to be open. He's got no battery though. Neither's Priz. But look at the straight line speed of that Ferrari. Geordie is not going to be able to catch him. I tell you what though, this is really bad for Jennifer Lee. He's now lost DRS, and that was a really good exit into Tamburello. Out of Tamburello, sorry, for Geordie. And a good battle for the lead as we hit the halfway mark. And the Ferrari driver with a little slip in the rears. And that might have just opened up the door again. Priz does not want this McLaren driver on the back of him. And he brakes a little bit early, back onto the exit. That is OGK Swiss on Real Aston Army with that DRS enabled. Rear wing wide open as he moves on through. Nimble and Vicious Vicar starting to catch up to Wobbly Lizard. Here comes Geordie once again. This is where they went side by side last time. Is he going to go for that late lunge? No, he's not. Yellow flag is waving. That's a Mercedes off the track of Shining Swan that's into the gravel. But it's Geordie on the back of Priz. Jennifer Lee is now starting to catch back up. Can he get inside that 1 second? Does he? I don't think he did. Kevin Gamer is through on Shining Swan. The Williams on the Mercedes who made that mistake. What about Geordie? Out of turn 15 at Ravazza. Back onto the throttle. He will get the extra help of DRS with the extra bit of horsepower. But look at the Ferrari. The downforce is something to behold. And that's why he's so slow through the corners. Look at how slow Priz is through the corners. Because he's running so much downforce. Shining Swan with a time penalty. And Jennifer Lee is now starting to catch back up. "17 laps down." Oh yeah, Asbill. I've just realised what you said. Yeah, the race T1's not till 7 o'clock. It's only 5:15. I thought the race was in 45 minutes. Oh yeah, we'll have some time. There we go. Shining Swan boot through on Kevin Gamer. He goes off the track. Kevin Gamer backs out. OGK Swiss can see them battling ahead. And it's Shining Swan that's back up to P9. But look at these leaders. Look at this. And who's joined in? It's a giant stick wants a piece of the action. Remember, he was the leader, but he went for a huge overcut. And now he's back in with the pack, who are having a scrappy little battle. So all four of them coming out of Ravazza. And they're going to have the use of DRS. Look how close Geordie is now to the back of Priz, the McLaren. Even with DRS, he's not able to catch the Ferrari. This is ridiculous. The Ferrari must be running a ridiculous amount of downforce. Up the inside goes the McLaren, onto the gravel goes the Ferrari. Priz is off the track. He comes back on in between the Haas and the Red Bull. And a giant stick just has to back out. Geordie being very aggressive there as he gets back into the lead of the Grand Prix. Jennifer Lee in P2. That is a giant stick through on Priz. Remember, on them fresher tyres by quite a few laps. Jennifer Lee will take his chance on Geordie. There goes OGK Swiss on Kevin Gamer. Vicious Vicar and Nimble starting to catch up. Geordie picks him another time penalty. Giant stick started on mediums, but he's gone for a huge overcut. And that is Mad Riot on Real Aston Army, and through goes the Sauber. Oh, Kevin Gamer's out! Kevin Gamer's out, safety car! Safety car on lap 18! Wow! Kevin Gamer is out, and that makes both Williams out of the Imola Grand Prix. Whew. Take a breather. That is Wobbly Lizard and Vicious Vicar. Not sure what's going on there. But, Wobbly Lizard, what are you doing, mate? Just go through the... Oh, that is ridiculous. Ridiculous driving. Wobbly Lizard, what are you doing? You're ruining the race. I cannot believe he's just done that. What is going on there? You can't do that. Mate, you cannot stop on track in towards a double left-hander. You can't do that. In any race, in any league, anywhere. Especially when there's two drivers on an undercut fighting for the lead. Well, podiums. Come on, we've got to be better than that. It does bring Mad right back in, you're absolutely right. Nimblecat now down to P10 after that though. I reckon Nimblecat lost about 10-15 seconds there. I had to let him pass, but he couldn't go through. Why did you have to let him pass? Yeah, that was a bit crazy that though, mate. Stopping on track. I thought you was in front of illegal overtake. Oh. How did you get an illegal overtake? Well, that means you must have overtook him, no? Yeah, no worries. Just send it in afterwards, mate. It just looked really bad on stream, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, Priz, we've seen it, mate. We've seen it. So let's have a look what everybody's up to here. Yeah, look at that. Nimble's gone from being... Yeah, he stayed out a long time though, didn't he? Yeah, that's crazy. Geordie's stayed out on 11 lap old hards under the safety car. I have no idea why he's not pitted. Yeah, Geordie is not pitted, which I find really surprising. This is awful for Giant Stick and Vicious Vicar. Whoever tried to go long in this strategy, this safety car has killed their strategy. Yeah, it did. Osgo, it did. And he's still not gone into the pit lane. I really thought the McLaren was going to go in. He's got such a good opportunity to go in and get some fresh tyres. I have no idea what strategy you would be on for you not to want to go into the pit lane when you're on 12 lap old hards, when a safety car's out and you've got 11 laps to go. But I suppose, well, a Giant Stick, his tyres are only on 15% wear, so maybe Geordie's are only on 30 and he's like, yeah, I'll just try and get to the end of the race. We've seen how long they lasted in Tier 3 when they were at like 90% wear and they didn't get a puncture. So yeah, maybe Geordie's watched that and said, yeah, you know what, I reckon I can probably get to the end on these old tyres. So the safety car should be in this lap. All the drivers now recharging the batteries. They've all got... Oh, somebody's just got... Oh, Mad Riot's just got wing damage again. Mad Riot's just got wing damage again as the safety car's about to go in. What is going on in this race? What is going on? He's got another missing end plate. Mad Riot peels off back into the pit lane. I can't imagine how Mad Riot feels now. So Jordy with the safety car restart gets us underway. There goes Priz and Jennifer. Oh wow, that was aggressive. Priz is off the track and Jennifer shoves him off it. Vicious Vicar stays in P3. He's chasing down a giant stick. What about Cardell from the back of Priz? OGK Swiss, Nimble Cat in the Alpine. Wobbly Lizard who's been a little bit aggressive here. And Nimble Cat in the Alpine going wide. Yellow flags are waving. Mad Riot is way behind again now. Yeah, Ryan, this is going to be a big reported race. Priz in the Ferrari. The problem is, Ryan, is not all of the drivers are tier 4 drivers. So we've got a real mixture in pace and people don't account for it. People don't account that other people might break a little later or break a little earlier. They're just shoving their way through and it's crazy to watch. So Priz on Jennifer Lee. And then we've got a giant stick on Geordie. And at the moment, Geordie stayed out and it's been a good strategy. Here comes the Red Bull driver and Geordie will be demoted to P2. And Priz on Jennifer Lee, and he backs out. He doesn't do what Jennifer did. He wants to do it the right way as he switches it back. And Jennifer Lee up the inside, round the outside, and Priz is up to P4. Can Jennifer get it back as they go into Villeneuve? They can't, and Priz is back into P4. Jennifer and Priz are two very good drivers, by the way. A great switch back. Card Elf is there in the McLaren. Nimblecat is in P8. Real Aston Army is through, and Honda VTEC has made another mistake. But anybody that finishes now will finish in the points. And Giant Stick is way clear. Jordan's now 1.2 behind. So Giant Stick's time to find his rhythm. And back where he started in pole position. Through turn 11 and 12. So Nimblecat on the back of OGK Swiss. He's trying to look for a way through. The Red Bull of OGK Swiss in a great position. Priz picks up a 3-second time penalty. Can Nimble get a good exit on the Red Bull? He's got Wobbly Lizard just to his rear. Here comes Nimblecat in the Alpine. There goes Priz on Vicious Vic Cruz through, and Priz is going to go for Geordie as well. A double overtake for the Ferrari. Geordie goes wide, and the McLaren driver is demoted to P3. Here comes Vicious Vicar. And Geordie is trying to come back at the Ferrari. Is he going to go later on the brakes? Swings it into the Villeneuve chicane and over the apex. Nearly wiping out the Ferrari. This is getting spicy here on lap 24. Jennifer Lee, Cardell, Nimblecat is through on OGK Swiss. But it's Vicious Vicar and Geordie. And Vicious Vicar will not like the sight of this in front at all. Geordie picking up another 3 seconds. That's 12 for him. Vicious Vicar will get a podium regardless as it stands. Here comes Jennifer Lee in the Haas. Around turn 11 and 12 he goes and into P4. And Vicious Vicar, you know how clean of a driver he is, and sometimes I don't feel like clean drivers get the respect back that they give out. And sometimes that can really hinder a driver. So I'm hoping that it stays clean. Because Vicious Vicar will be worried about that as well. Here go Jennifer Lee, the McLaren. Geordie's into the wall. Mad Riot picks up another 3 seconds. And Geordie is missing 2 end plates. He's got Nimble chasing him down. And Nimble is trying to get through. Geordie with no wings. What are you doing, Geordie? Come on. Flipping hell. What is that driving all race? God. It's just so bad. Like, you physically... Yeah, but it's just so bad all race. People are trying to leave you space all the time. It's just really poor driving, man. You're taking out so many people in this race. Like, they go so wide to leave your room and you still take them out. You've got 2 minutes in end plates, man. Alright, Bjorn, I don't need that, man. Come on. And Geordie's been in the server. The people that have joined for one race have actually not caused any issues. Card Elf is the guy that joined. Yeah, he's been fine. Oh. Shining Swarm on OGK Swiss. Yeah, sorry Bjorn. Sorry, I'm just annoyed. Vicious Vicar is onto the gravel. I don't know what's going on. Nimblecat is from Real Aston Army, the Alpine up to P9. I'm going to be honest, George, that is really, really some of the worst racing I've seen for a long time, mate. And I don't mean it in a really bad way, I genuinely don't. But it's just so bad that. You were just so aggressive from the minute go. You were lunging up the inside, smashing people off, pushing people wide, dive bombing everybody. It was just so bad. Come on, guys. You're all here to have fun and enjoy the race and respect each other. And you know what I mean? Everyone practices all week. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, Bjorn. I'm really sorry. Right, back to the race. So, a Giant Stick wins. It just annoys me when I see that people are practicing all week trying to put in the effort, and other people are just like, yeah, I don't care. Yeah, Geordie, honestly, when you see the reports after this race from everybody that's going to report you, I think you'll have a different perspective of the race. Or if you watch this stream back afterwards, mate, it's been really bad, honestly. It really has. I've tried to not say anything because I don't like doing that on the stream, but it's been some really bad racing, mate. Like, you've been, like, cutting corners on purpose to try and catch people. You're smashing into the back of them, you're tapping the rears, you're locking wheels, you're diving them, you're pushing them off. Like, you took 2 people out the race. You came back on track after you went off and caused the salvage driver to smash into the back of you. It's just been really bad all race. So, Shining Swarm spinning off the track. 5 laps to go. A Giant Stick is leading. Priz in the Ferrari. Jennifer Lee. Then you got Card Elf, Wobbly Lizard, Vicious Vicar, OGK Swiss. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Let's just get to the end of the race and just have a good end of the race. I'm sorry. I'm just passionate. I like to see people enjoy themselves and have a good race and enjoy the racing and, you know, get the respect back that they show on track, you know. So a Giant Stick leads to Priz, to Jennifer Lee. It's a familiar front 3. Card Elf on his debut has done well so far. He's in P4, but he's got a time penalty. So is Wobbly Lizard. He's got a time penalty as well. Vicious Vicar still within DRS range. But Nimblecat does have front wing damage. He is in P8, but he does have front wing damage. I don't know where he got that from. Was that from the... Oh, yeah, it was from the incident, weren't it, with Geordie. Vicious Vicar still trying to stay with Wobbly Lizard, who's got a time penalty. I think Vicious Vicar could still pick up a P4 here, even with Priz's time penalty, even more. There goes Nimble, throwing K Swiss, and even with front wing damage, it's not going to stop him going for extra moves. So the Alpine driver is through. Yellow flag, and that is a Red Bull. That is Tapapi in the Racing Bull. But he's going to get some decent points on the board here, Tapapi, the man from Canada. And Honda VTEC is through. And Tapapi is struggling. He's got a missing end plate. Oh no. 4 laps to go. Giant Stick leads to Priz in P2. Jennifer Lee is there. Vicious Vicar going wide and through on Wobbly Lizard. Wobbly Lizard got a little bit wobbly. And Vicious Vicar will also get DRS, and he moves ahead and back into P5. The chase is on to Card Elf, and still that podium might be on. You don't know. Let's have a look. Penalties. Only 3 seconds for Priz, so no, it doesn't look like the podium is going to be on. But he could still be looking for a P4 for the Constructors leaders. The Aston Martin and Wobbly Lizard, Nimble Cat 5.5 seconds behind, still in P7, and that would be 13 points for the Alpine. What's going on, Flip Flop Lad? I tried to tag you before, Flip Flop Lad, to see if you wanted to race in Tier 2, but I think you might have been asleep, but it's all good. Wobbly Lizard picking up another 3 seconds. Real Aston Army having a great race. He's in P9. Mad Riot is the definition of never giving up. He's got that attitude in life, that never give up attitude. And he'll take a couple of points. It'll be 3 points, I think, on the board for him, or 4. Yeah, 4 points. So, Priz in P2. He's chasing down a giant stick. And Priz is starting to catch up. Why is that? Oh, he's on fresher tyres. I tell you what, this race is not over yet for the Ferrari driver. He's within the DRS range of the Red Bull. He's got fresher tyres. Oh, he's onto the gravel. And Priz with that time penalty might have just thrown away a P2 as Jennifer Lee is now within that 3 second mark. And Priz was so close. Julius jinxed him. Julius jinxed him. Jennifer Lee is now just over a second behind. What about Real Aston Army on the back of OGK Swiss? OGK Swiss looking for his best finish of the season so far with a P8. You know what, John? It is what it is, mate. You know what I mean? It's just frustrating when you come on track and you drive like that, and it ruined it for a lot of people today. It wasn't just you as well. There's a few drivers that have been questionable on track today, but it is what it is. We've got to improve, haven't we? You know, you can only get better by racing, but yeah. So a giant stick, now 2.8 clear as we're on the penultimate lap. Soon to be the final lap, and the man from the US of A has drove a splendid race, and that is Card Elf that picks up another 3 seconds. That means Vicious Vicar will take that P4. A Real Aston Army on the back of OGK Swiss. Nimblecat doing a great job here, and I tell you what, he's catching up to Wobbly Lizard. He's going to take a P6 here, Nimble, and from where he was to finishing P6 is a brilliant job. He's really trying with that missing front wing after colliding with a McLaren. So Jennifer Lee is now starting to drop off again from Priz. Priz had his chance, but we enter the final lap of this Grand Prix. Yeah, the Nimble one was bad, mate, and so was the Mad G one, to be honest. Giant stick through Tamburello and down towards Ferrante Villeneuve. Mr. Best, yes. Yeah, this is definitely more of a tier for Wobbly Lizard, to be fair. He probably fits in better here. However, his driving has also been a bit crazy today at times. No, it hasn't been that bad. The safety car was a bit of an issue, but I know he's got his clip and everything. But he's a good driver, Wobbly Lizard. I've seen him drive before. He's a good driver. You know, sometimes you have bad races. It is what it is. We've got to move on from it. Yeah, but you came back on track, didn't you, dangerously? So a giant stick comes around Ravazza out of turn 15, and the man from America will come here to Imola and win the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Priz will take P3 as Jennifer Lee comes through within that 3-second mark. Cardelf on his debut, the McLaren will come through to take P4. Vicious Vicar will take it off him though. Wobbly Lizard is going to come through. Nimblecat will take that position. Cardelf will stay P5, I think. He will. Nimblecat takes P6. Wobbly Lizard in P7. Real Ashanami will take P8. Oh, P7. Wow, what a race. And OGK Swiss in P9. Shining Swarm in the Mercedes will come through to take P10, and then you've got Honda VTEC in the other Mercedes in P11. A great finish for the two Mercedes drivers to Pappy in P11. Mad Riot is going to come through to take P13. Still some points on the board for the Saubers, but I dread to think what the chat is going to produce after this, and I'm going to have to shoot off. We will get everything sorted. Yeah, it was a rough race, Adam. It really was. It annoyed me, to be honest. It really annoyed me. But yeah, we will. I've got to try and get everything sorted for the PC for Tier 1. And I need to find out why we had so many issues. There you have it, the American driver on the top step. The US of A to Hong Kong to Germany. 1, 2, 3. And that makes it a full run of form for the German. Priz has had a podium in every race so far. Let's have a look at the final standings. I just need to input these as well. So it's a giant stick that wins to Jennifer Lee, to Priz, to Vicious Vicar, to Cardelf in P4, Nimblecat in P5. No, sorry, Cardelf in P6, Vicious Vicar P4. Nimblecat P6, the Real Asnami P7, Wobbly Lizard in P8, OGK Swiss in P9, Shining Swarm in P10, Tapapi in P11, Honda VTEC in P12, Mad Riot, I need to put that in P13, Geordie in P14, Kevin Gamer in P15, Oliver James, Scott Lee and Silent Assassin complete your 18 drivers on the grid. My driver of the day, I'm going to give it to OGK Swiss. I thought he drove a great race, his best finish of the season. Could have been Cardelf, could have been Vicious Vicar, could have been Nimble. But K Swiss, I thought, was really classy on track today. He moved out of the driver's ways. He never got involved in anything. He stayed on his own strategy. He never battled too hard. He moved out of the way of drivers on undercuts. And he finished in P9. It was just an all-round great performance from OGK Swiss. So, yeah, that's why he's got driver of the day. We've got a lot to filter through and sort through. So, thank you all so much for tuning in. I'll be back at 7 o'clock for Tier 1. I'm hoping that all the overlays will be sorted and all the PC will be sorted. But I'm going to try it all now. I need to have my tea as well because I've not had a break between the races. So, yes, I will see you in just over an hour's time. Thank you so much for tuning in. And have a great evening, everybody.